Hello everyone, my name is Peyton Bear. I'm a decathlete at Mississippi State University. This past season I was runner-up at the NCAA meet, and today I'll be sharing 3 of the most important things that you can focus on as a track and field athlete, basketball athlete, football athlete, whatever sport it may be that you're participating in. The 3 most important things that you should be focusing on. So I'm going to go through these 3 things. I'm going to talk about why they're important, things you can do to improve them, and then I'll kind of just wrap it up with some of my personal experiences and things that I've learned through my training and through my experience. So the very first thing that I want to talk about is sleep. Sleep is one of the most important things that you as an athlete can do. If you think of it this way, when you're out there putting all this work on the track or on the football field or wherever it may be, you're putting a lot of stress on your body. You're breaking your body down, and the only way for your body to regenerate and to heal itself is through rest and through sleep. So if you're taking reps off, you could say, in your sleep department, you're going to be putting your body at a high risk of injury, which will take away from your ability to be available, which, as we talked about before, was one of the most important things that you can have. And so getting at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep is, I would say, the minimum for any athlete. I mean, 7 hours is, if you're not in heavy training, probably enough, but if you can get closer to that 9 hours, you're gonna be able to help yourself out a lot more. And I know it's difficult, especially in college and in high school, to get that amount of sleep. I mean, you have friends, you have activities and things that you want to be involved in, and it can be difficult to make that a priority. But if it's really important enough to you, you'll make the time to sleep and to let your body recover. So I just want to talk about a couple things that I do to help with my sleep. This past season, as I was training before the national meet, one of the things that I did is I purchased blackout curtains for my room, and it just helped me to fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. I mean, it's just a little thing, but having that pitch black darkness really helps you stay asleep better and get more quality sleep. Another thing that I would do is if it was really hot outside, I would turn the AC down to like 67, 68 degrees, and that just helps your body cool down and then fall asleep faster. And I noticed for me personally that I got a better sleep out of that. And then when I'm traveling, just making sure to try to keep those same things going. And the hotels, a lot of them have blackout curtains, which helps, and just turn the AC down as low as I could. So the second most important thing is your nutrition. As an athlete, we're constantly pushing your body to the limits. It's very, very, very important that you give your body the nutrition, the nutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, the protein, the carbohydrates, and all the other things that your body needs so that it can repair itself. Same thing with sleep. I mean, your body, when you're training, you're basically applying a stimulus to your body with hopes of it responding. You're breaking it down, but the only way to rebuild it is through sleep, which is kind of the mechanism by which your body fixes itself. And then if you provide it the right building blocks, which is your nutrition, then you're going to be able to improve a whole lot. And depending on your goals, your sport, the things you're trying to accomplish, your diet's going to look a little bit different. For me personally, I do a lot of sprinting, jumping, and I still do a lot of cardio type exercises too. I have to train for the 1500 and for 2 full days of competition. And so for me personally, I focus on eating high quality whole foods. And for me, kind of like a go-to meal is usually I'll take some ground beef or some sort of beef. I'll add a little bit of rice and avocado, an egg or 2, and then maybe I'll put in some garlic or some onions or something of that nature, just to give it some flavor. But all these foods are really high in different vitamins and minerals, and they provide my body the nutrients that they need to be able to recover from the exercises and the training that I've done. And that's just an example. I'm looking to do a couple more videos going forward talking about some more of the meals that I like to eat. So subscribe down below so that you can be updated for when I post those videos. Another thing talking about nutrition is supplements. Competing at a high level, supplements are very important. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, you don't need to use supplements until like you got to a certain level, but if you're eating a good diet with whole foods, prioritizing quality proteins, getting all of your vitamins and minerals through foods, I think taking a multivitamin and maybe taking other supplements such as creatine or bee juice could be very beneficial, especially if you've been training a while. I mean, even at the beginning too, it's not going to hurt you. You're going to get more gains just from starting training and fixing your diet than from the vitamins themselves. But in the long run, your body needs those to recover, and it's just going to supplement the good diet that you already have. So focus on building that good habit of eating a good diet, and with those supplements, your body's really going to be able to flourish, and your performance will improve with that. Now, the third most important thing to focus on is your recovery in general. So for me personally, I want to talk about this last season. During the indoor season, I was injured, had some groin issues, and I wasn't able to complete the indoor season. I was very frustrated, and for about a month, I was doing all these different rehab exercises, and it just couldn't really get rid of this nagging pain and injury that I had, and it was one of the most frustrating months that I've had it is the most frustrating month that I've had in my collegiate career, and I'm super grateful for that experience because it taught me a whole lot about the things that I need to focus on now and the things that help me the most in my training. And I remember just sitting there just like, oh, I got to figure out what's going on, and these three things are the things that I prioritized as I got through that. So when I talk about recovery, I'm talking about things like a proper cool down after your workouts, doing a thorough warm-up, and then doing different soft tissue and other modalities to help your muscles relax and to recover. So before you work out, you want to make sure you get a good quality warm-up. Here we have a very long, extensive warm-up. Our warm-up takes, the shortest warm-up we have is 30 minutes, and I'm pouring sweat by the time we're done with it. And when I first started doing it, it sucked. I was like, oh, I'm doing all this extra work and exercise for no reason, but it really gets my body primed and ready to move, and it gets all of those movement patterns and those firing patterns going the way that they should, so that I can perform the exercises and the task at hand for practice that day. And then I'll perform practice, and as I cool down for end of practice, I'll usually do like skipping and jogging, go through like a 10 to 15 minute stretching routine, and depending on the exercise that day, after we do hard lactic workouts, I really like to get in the ice and just cool down my body. And this is always after I stretch and stuff, but I feel like it really aids in my recovery, especially after like long, intensive runs. And then probably 3 to 5 times a week I sit in the boots, the Normatec boots. Luckily for me, being here in Mississippi State, I have access to those things. If you don't have access to those things, like the most important thing you can focus on is make sure you get a good warm up, a good cool down, stretch, and just focus on the other two things that I talked about before, which is your sleep and your diet. And if you really lock in on these three things, like your performance is just gonna skyrocket. There's so many little things out there you see, like, oh, you gotta buy this supplement or buy this product to be able to perform better. But what it comes down to at the end of the day is the guy that can master the little things, which in my opinion are these three things: your recovery after, your sleep, and your diet. If you can lock in on those three things, then you're going to perform really well and do really well. Just to wrap things up, I want to share something that my dad and I always talk about. He helps coach one of the football teams back in Idaho, and we always talk about the training and stuff. When I call him on the phone, that's what we talk about. And he's like, I get, maybe 90 minutes with athletes a day that he's working with, and he's like, I can control almost everything in these 90 minutes. He's got a really good control of these things, and the most difficult thing, he says, is controlling the other 22 hours that he's not with him, which in those 22 hours, that's how you recover, the things you eat, put in your body, and how you sleep. He says, and I've seen it in my training too, if you don't prioritize those things, it doesn't matter how hard you work on the track or in the weight room or on the football field, you're not going to be available because you're going to be injured. Your body's not going to perform the way it's supposed to. So prioritizing those three things and mastering those three things is by far the most important thing you can do. I'm still learning how to master those things. I mean, I love ice cream. I love peanut M&Ms, and those are not conducive to my goals. But I mean, I still need to indulge myself a couple here and there and enjoy life. But it's by far the hardest part of training is keeping a steady mind and mastering those little things, mastering your sleep, and creating a good routine helps with that. But it's just something that you always have to be proactive and focused on. And that's really what separates the good from the great. So thanks for being with me today. I hope that these three things can help you in whatever training you're doing, and I'd really appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel. I'll be talking a little bit more about these things, sharing more of my experiences training for the decathlon and things that you can use as an athlete and just to live a healthier lifestyle. I think a lot of these principles that I've learned through the decathlon can not only help you be a better athlete, but just help people live healthier lifestyles. And so please subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and I'll talk to y'all later.